I gotta tell you something I could do. I could be running around chasing you, but I won't. Cause I got better things to do. Rather spend my precious time chasing somebody who loves me too. If I got $1 for every time you slam the door, I would be the richest girl alive. If you hadn't run away every time I asked you stay, you would sleep right next to me tonight. No, you didn't want me, all you wanted was a game to play, and you couldn't handle that I had my ways. Around your mind tricks and your side chicks, I'm a winner, babe. No, you didn't win this, it's a part of the game. In the beginning I just didn't know that you're an enemy I held too close. Now I know, cause you did everything to prove me wrong. You were not the guy I thought. Now I'm beating you at your own. Yeah. If I got $1 for every time you slam the door, I would be the richest girl alive. No, you didn't want me, all you wanted was a game to play, and you couldn't handle that I had my ways. Around your mind tricks and your side chicks, I'm a winner, babe. No, you didn't win this, it's a part of the game. Yeah, I beat you at your game, and if you were me, you would do the same. Man, I really love to play, and now that I won, then it's safe to say, no, you didn't want me, all you wanted was a game to play, and you couldn't handle that I had my ways. Around your mind tricks and your side chicks, I'm a winner, babe. No, you didn't win this, it's a part of the game. No, you didn't want me, all you wanted was a game to play, and you couldn't handle that I had my ways. Around your mind tricks and your side chicks, I'm a winner, babe. No, you didn't win this, it's a part of the game.
Hey everybody, what's good? How are ya? Man, a lot going on in the world today. Oh my goodness. Sorry y'all if it seems like I'm not really there. I'm just waking up. But what up though? How y'all feeling? Everybody good? It's your man, your friend, and family member, Brain Lee here. As y'all know, this channel, everything is alleged. In my opinion, the copyright ads where I can redistribute information for, commentary purposes, yada, 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 jazza, banga. Okay. So this is rhoa, season 15, episode 3 recap. So I'm trying to figure out how to do more YouTube, right? Because at the end of the day, YouTube is not my life. It's a part of my life, but it's not everything. So I've come to recognize that you guys like quality, and, these weekly episodes, they hold you guys over, but we got to figure something out. So leave in the comment section what type of videos you guys want. I've talked with T-Talk with your girl, and, she said that I should do some, videos talking about hot topics, but also too, I don't want to jump on everything. You know what I mean? But we'll figure out. So help me help y'all, because I want this channel to grow. So here we go with the recap, y'all. So we start off with Sheree. And so Sheree is having brunch with Sonya and Marlo. They have mimosas, and they talk about BravoCon. So, BravoCon is pretty much the con of cons. It's like Comic-Con, but it's for all the reality show fans. So you get to meet with your favorite Bravo celebrities. There's different panels. There's special after parties. Andy Cohen does like a special Watch What Happens Live. There are special panels that are designed so you can see more of the personalities. Like, it's a good time. So they were talking about all of that, and that Marlo didn't land until 3 a.m., right? It did not land until 3 a.m. because I think she was either on the phone with, the life coach, or she was on the phone with a business partner. So yeah, I thought, okay, that was an interesting conversation. It wasn't really too much more to that. Now you guys got to realize something. That conversation probably lasted maybe an hour, 2 or 3 hours, you know what I mean? But we only saw a small part of it, right? Because usually it's an hour-long show, but really it's about 40 minutes without commercials, right? So they had to figure out the fill-in time somehow. So yeah, while I have y'all here for just a brief minute, I want to thank y'all so much for seeing something in me. This world we living in today is such a crazy world. Been applying for jobs, just trying to find a better way to be able to live more of a fulfilling life. For the last several years, I've worked in retail. Shout out to all the retail workers out there. Retail is not an easy gig. It's not. You deal with people all the time, attitudes, and sometimes you don't even know if your own mental health and capacity is okay to be able to deal with people. So I really do feel you on that, but also too to all the people who work in fast food and who do Uber and Lyft and really anything that requires physical or mental labor. Shout out to you. I just want you to know that you're loved, that you're cared for, that we appreciate you, and just to keep your head up. Your dream is still out there. I don't know what that dream is. It can be as big as want to be on TV. It can be as big as, wanting to own your own warehouse to produce things. It can be maybe being a tree trimmer. Whatever that dream is, go for it. It's still out there. And I just want to give you a little bit of inspiration because, Lord Jesus, we all need a little inspiration in this world today. So just wanted to give you that little nugget of, not nugget, but just that gem of joy for you there. All right, back into the recap, everybody. So we got Drew Sidora. Of course, you guys know that she was in the second episode, not the first episode, because she was in Chicago with her mom and her dad, because her dad has Alzheimer's. So shout out to Drew Sidora and the family. We're definitely praying for the family. So Drew and Ralph go on this rock climbing date, and they're just trying to get back to having fun, because as we all know, we see what happens a little bit later on. And it's really odd. The reality shows that we watch were filmed in the past, but we're watching it now. So it's quite interesting to see their dynamic, and they seem to really be a good couple through these episodes. And I realize it's only the third episode, but what ends up happening is just quite tragic. But we will get there when we get there. So basically, Drew asked Ralph, how does it feel for me now moving from basically being a mom full-time to now adding singing to her plate again? And Ralph said that was always the plan, which I appreciate, being the supportive husband. And speaking of support, the song You Already Know, which I didn't listen to the whole song, yet, but I am going to listen to. And by the way, shout out to Candy, because on her last speak on it, she played Drew Sidora's song. And you know what? People can say what they want to about Candy, but Speak on It is probably the biggest YouTube show from a housewife in the housewife universe. And Candy is a singer, whether Tamar Braxton wants to admit or not. To be honest, Candy and Toni Braxton have done much more than you have ever done, could, or ever will do. That's not to say that you're not an amazing singer, because, Love and War. I'm trying to think what else. You're My Monday, My Friday. That song right there, Tamar. You're My Monday, My Friday. That shit, you know what? That's what you should do. Do the You're My Monday and My Friday podcast. Talk about hot topics that feel like, oh my God, this topic right here feels like a Monday, but girl, this topic feels like a Friday. I'm so excited to talk to y'all about some good news. And of course, Changed. I know that you have your Under Construction podcast. I feel like, maybe, a changed, interview series where you interview celebrities about how they've changed things in their life. Talk to your fans about being changed in their lives too. So, Tamar, I'm not saying you're not a great singer. You are amazing. You're way better than I could ever be, because I can't sing, child. I was in choir. From pre-K all the way up to 12th grade. I was tenor 1, tenor 2, bass 1, bass 2. Went to all region choir. Didn't go to all state, but went to all regions. So, but all that to say, Tamar, Candy can sing. She's a part of one of the biggest groups of all time, Escape. So let's put some respect on people's legacy, okay? So I just don't like that. I'm sorry, Tamar, if you want people to respect your work, especially you being a 5-time Emmy award-winning bona fide journalist, which Robin Roberts is a journalist, you are not. If you want people to respect that thought, then you have to respect other people. Okay, just wanted to do that. But anyway, back to this recap, y'all, and this destination of Drew Sidora, because this is a virtual tour we're taking of season 15, episode 3. So, basically, the streaming downloads were 33,999. So basically $34,000, which honestly, that is kind of successful to me, especially if you have never done that before, that type of release. And so basically, Drew was like, we're doing so good, we're collaborating, and we're in a happy place. And so, Ralph was like, yeah, just like Ike and Tina. And Drew kind of stepped back, and Drew was like, I thought we were Jay-Z and Beyonce, but he brought up Ike and Tina. And by the way, I just want to say shout out to Tina Turner's family. Her sons, as you guys know, we have lost the legendary Tina Turner. And when I think about her light, just how she always was about making sure that it was about the craft, it was about the music, but also to not limiting herself to love. And, she moved over to Switzerland because she just wanted privacy. And what I think I really will miss the most is just her presence in this world. There was an interview that she did with Mike Wallace, the legendary Mike Wallace from 60 Minutes, and how she did all her own wigs. She did her own makeup. And there's this iconic performance of VH1 Divas where the music starts as soon as she gets out the limo, and she's saying hi to everybody. And she's going through the crowd, high-fiving people, and the announcer says, ladies and gentlemen, Tina Turner. And she goes up on the stage, grabs the microphone, does a curtsy, and then just starts going to sing Simply the Best. And at the end of it, she gets on her knees and gets a standing ovation. Like, and I was talking to a friend of mine about this. Well, not just, well, they're friends, but, I'm on Clubhouse too, the Onyx collab, weeknights, 10 nights in on Clubhouse. That is my house on Clubhouse. So if y'all want to join, please do. I'll try to put that in the description box below. I think I can do links. But anyway, I was talking to them about how, artists are so different now that they have to have the smoke, the mirrors, and the whole to do and hype themselves up. But with Tina Turner, to walk through an audience and get on the stage and do it, there's something powerful about that. So I definitely will miss her simplicity and her voice, and most of all, I will just miss just her mindset, just being in the same world that we're in. And as they often say, don't cry because it's over, cry because it happened. So I imagine that her, Prince, Whitney, James Brown, all those legends are just having a wonderful time right now, and having so much love to Tina Turner, for sure. So yeah. Oh man, it's nice when you're able to use your platform for good, and that's what we try to do over here. So anyway, back to the virtual tour, y'all. We taking pit stops here and there, but it's fun to take pit stops. It's about the journey, not the destination. So, back to Drew Sidora, this destination, Drew Sidora, this virtual tour. So, Ralph says that he has taken it to a certain point, and I agree with him and disagree with him, right? You are the husband, right? Okay. You are in Atlanta. I'm just going to say this, and I think everybody in Atlanta will know what I'm saying. This is it. Frankie Wanda in the morning, yeah, on V103. Now it's Big Tigger, in the morning with Miss Pat, and I think Sonya is on the show as well. So you could have went there. You could have went to 11 Alive. You could have went to Fox 5 Good Day Atlanta. Not to mention, you could have went to Lenox Mall to, you already know, Takeover, pop-up shop. That would have been cool. So, like, there's much more that you could have done. But also, too, then again, this is what I'm saying. I agree with him, but disagree with him. That was the disagreement part. The yes part is, listen, status is important in life, and how people know you and how people want to invest in you. So the more that you're known and the more social capital you have, the more things you can do. So maybe, Ralph just felt like, okay, we put out the song. That's all we can do because, you don't have the name yet. But that will change a little bit later with another fellow housewife. So, yeah, hang on. That was some good old Sunny D. Anyway, my extra behind. So basically, Courtney is coming over, Ralph's cousin. And this is the first time that Drew will meet her. So just trying to get, everything together and all that stuff. And Drew Sidora and Ralph have a very nice home. I would not mind having that house, actually. You know what I mean? But yeah, so basically, Candace is in Chicago. There was this other young lady. I can't remember the name, so sorry. But I know it starts with an S, and she definitely can sing for sure. But because she cannot be there, Candace asked Drew to sing a song with her when she is in Atlanta. And the venue is City Winery in Atlanta. So I think City Winery is a very popular place in Atlanta. I'd never been before, but it looked like the spot was jumping for sure in this episode. So shout out to City Winery in Atlanta. So Courtney comes over and she brings over this guy named Bryce. And so basically Bryce was a part of this male R&B group and was one of the hottest eligible men in America. So Bryce and Courtney are co-parents and best friends. But here's the tea though. So Drew is like, oh my God, to Bryce because they were co-stars like 10 years ago. So talk about a family affair, a family reunion. So Sonya unfollowed Drew Sidora for an issue that they had, I think like last season or something. And so, Drew's talking about that. And that's basically that. Oh, and so then Drew calls Candy because she's so excited. And and Drew was a little bit messy here, but she also wasn't trying to be messy. It was like a, damned if you do, damned if you don't type of situation. Excuse me. So, with that being said, she called Candy and she showed that it was Bryce, Ralph, and Courtney. And Candy in her confessional was like, girl, why are you calling me with her? I don't like this woman. And I agree, about the point of, Courtney being extra. She was trying to get a peach. She was trying to have her moment. But the moment wasn't momenting, or the moment didn't have any momentum. But yeah, I think it's time to end that beef because it's ridiculous. I think Courtney came in a little too hot. It wasn't the fact that Candy said anything mean about you or anything. She was just asking who you were, which that's a normal question if you don't know somebody. But anyway, child, we will get to that as well. So, we get to the performance, right? So Kenya, Moniana, Candy, Sonya, Marlo, and Courtney are all there. So, Marlo is trying to keep her distance. Candy's trying to keep her distance from Marlo, so is Moniana. Because apparently last season, something happened with Marlo and Moniana about talking about Candy. And there you go. So you have that situation. And then, of course, Candy and Marlo. That's a whole saga that started off with Marlo. Okay, I'm just going to say that. I'm going to bring up a different perspective here. And I'm going to give y'all my perspective on the whole shebang with that. Because, child, there was a lot. So then, Candace is performing. Shout out to Candace from Real Housewives of Potomac. They are shooting the season right now. Can't wait to see it. I hope Roberto, in the words of Color Me Pink, is held to the... Sorry, her feet are held to the fire. They're on her neck. And when I mean on her neck, I'm not being insensitive to what happened, okay? We all know what happened to George Floyd. That is still a messed up situation. I hope those cops and all the supporters who supported that heinous crime gets what's coming to them. In the words of my mom, God can take care of people better than you can. So I don't want anybody to come over here and come for me, all right? So, but yes, I hope they're on Roberto's neck, hold her feet to the fire and make her brain actually think and compute thoughts that make sense. I hope they go after Lizelle too, because Lizelle needs to be raked through the coals as well. But I will say, out of all the housewives that are going to have a career, Dr. Wendy, I feel like she's going to do something amazing. I feel like Dr. Wendy can actually do her own talk show. I really do. I feel that, she does MSNBC, CNN. She already does these things. Then you have, like I said, Candace. She is going to, oh my God. She's not going to be a Beyonce, but she is definitely going to be in the world of music. And she already is. I think she's going to have an amazing career. I'm trying to think who else is on the show. Ashley is Ashley, child. She's a TikTok star at this point, child. It's cute, but it's not doing anything, and nobody really cares. And then, of course, you got Mia. Oh my God, Mia just. Oh, she can't keep her lies straight, but you know when you're not responsible for your mouth and you just want attention, I guess you'll just put your mouth on anything and say anything so your mouth can never stay dry. But that's neither here nor there, y'all. Let's move on. Let's move on. Then there's a new housewife. I'm on YouTube, y'all. We'll talk. So back to the performance, right? So the performance was a very short performance. And here's the thing, right? I think all the girls, all the ladies, all the queens were like, wait, what's going on here? Because it was a very short performance. So, you know, when you are a guest on somebody's, when you're a guest on somebody's set or, you know, part of their concert, you usually, depending on the artist and depending on their management, you get to sing at least one full song or two, right? Because you're a featured artist. Sonya was like, my dash for my gold medal lasted longer than Drew Sidora singing. And then the producers are so shady, child. They're so shady. They put up the timestamp on the time comparison of Sonya's dash to Drew Sidora singing. I'm like, that's just so petty. That's so petty. But still, I felt like that should have been a little bit longer, and I'm not going to blame Candace for that. You know, I'm not going to even blame management for that. You know what I mean? I think, you know, and like I said, too, we don't see a lot. We only see the footage that they allow us to see. So maybe, you know, because this was Drew's first time on stage, maybe she just wanted to just have the association of joining Candace on stage. And not to mention Drew Sidora, Ralph, Chris, and Candace have known each other for a while. For the 7-year anniversary, they were vacationing with Chris and Candace. So it's not like they don't have history. But if I was a music artist or trying to get back into music after a long time, I would just want to just see if I sounded good. You know what I mean? Because if you do a full song and it doesn't work out right, then, you know, people will talk about you. But I do get the fact that, you know, the girls definitely want to see more of her, for sure. So shout out to Drew Sidora and that song You Already Know. I feel like from what it sounds like an old 90s, you know, love to be in love type of vibe, and you could definitely put that on in your car and go on an R&B drive. But yeah, I feel like that would be cool. You know what I mean? So, you know what? Candy should do that. Candy Coated R&B nights. She could do that at like a club in Atlanta. Or, you know, it could be a TV show on Bravo. Candy Coated R&B nights live from, ooh, yeah, Candy, listen, if you take that idea, you can have it, but girl, I need to be your announcer on Bravo for Candy Coated R&B nights. You can feature other R&B artists, you can feature everyday people, talk to them about love, sex, and relationships. We can do a show together, Candy. We can do a show together. Okay, I love you, I value, I appreciate you, Candy Burris. Okay, all right. We're going to get to Candy in a minute, y'all, because, good gosh, she is busy. So basically, after all that is done, you know, they talk about, you know, Drew and Sonya talk about BravoCon, and the issue with the hair flip and the merch. And so, you know, they squash the beef. Sonya gets out what she needs to say. Drew gets out what she needs to say. And, it seems like this love-hate relationship, and everybody in the group just kind of seems to be over it. But I will say, Sonya did say that, I'm going to extend the olive branch. And I think sometimes the reason why we lose out on good friendships, good relationships, is because of communication. Because we keep walls up and because we don't explore our feelings. So shout out to them for squashing that. Because at the end of the day, the world is already judging black women. Last thing we need is black women to be against black women. And I really, really mean that. So yeah, that's basically all for that. Now we're with Kenya Moore. Gone with the Wind, fabulous. And by the way, Gone with the Wind, just to give y'all a little tea, there is a mill in Little Rock, Arkansas, a legendary mill that was used in Gone with the Wind. So if Kenya Moore is really about Gone with the Wind, she really should go by my home state of Arkansas and take a picture there. She really wants to be closer with the Gone with the Wind movie. You know what? I am surprised that with Kenya Moore being Kenya Moore, that she has not tried to do a updated version of Gone with the Wind as a movie. Interesting. Would y'all be here for that? Leave your comments in the comment section down below. Would you be here for a Kenya Moore rendition of Gone with the Wind as a movie? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? So basically, Kenya needs her picture resized. She, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. So I'm laughing because it's just like, Kenya Moore says, like, I really love young people. I try to invest in them. And then it goes back to Kenya screaming. So these producers and editors are gifted at what they do. They know how to take the inch or find the inch and make it a mile child. So anyway, that's happening because she is going to be a part of the Magic City Classic, which is against two of the biggest HBCU football teams in the country. And so Kenya's going to be doing a halftime performance with one of the bands. And so Mayetta calls up, or Kenya calls Mayetta up, and they, get to talking. And so, Mayetta went to Grambling her first semester or her first year, but then she graduated from Louisiana Tech, I think. And so Kenya wants Mayetta to choreograph Kenya's performance, which Mayetta is really excited about, but Mayetta's got to go to LaToya's wedding, which I'm thinking LaToya Luckett. I'm thinking maybe. They didn't say who, but I'm thinking LaToya Luckett, child. But anyway, but that's basically that. Now, when we get to Candy Burris, child, I hope to have a schedule like hers. But good God, child, you got so much to do, sweetie, auntie, peaches. You really, 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 really do. Let's see, can I do this? Yes, I can. Okay, awesome. So I took a picture of this that I watched the episode yesterday, and I just kind of rested with my thoughts, because I don't like to just do content just to do content, right? I like to, sit still, be still, and go through my own thought process, because, once you post it on YouTube, it's on YouTube, so I want to be fully engaged with all of you. So this was the list, right? Her must list that she has to do. Weekly live show, Candy Coordinates podcast, Soul Train Awards, Ebony Power 100, Candy Cares event, Blaze birthday, Celebrity Game Face with Kevin Hart on E, Portia's wedding. Then I think she had something else to do. And so when Drew Sidora, asked, can you come to my, performance? She's like, I'll be at your performance. And then, of course, Todd's movie. It's a movie that Todd's been wanting to do for a while. And, she is going to be executive producer, but she's going to take a back seat. So I'm like, girl, your list is long, hunty. It is long. But here's the thing, though. I also get in the same token that even though it's a long list, she is proud to have a list that long because, and I think that this is the disconnect for most people who don't understand Candy Birds. When you have worked so hard for a dream, it's hard to think of a dream or dream a dream. It's hard to dream a dream, harder to go after that dream, but it's the hardest to make that dream come true and to keep that dream happening every single day. And so I feel that, yes, Candy should be with her family more. And also, too, we don't know how much she is with her family. So I think it's quite disrespectful to say that she's not a good mom or, she's not there with the kids because, listen, somebody, and if we can be real, like, can we really, 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 really be real? Some of y'all out there are probably not with your kids as much either. Or somebody has said that to you and you probably have felt hurt even though that's not true. So I know that these are people that we only know through TV, but can we give them a little bit of grace? Because guess what? Some of you women are momtrepreneurs. Some of you are, female hustlers. You know what I mean? Some of you are she-ros or SEOs. You know what I mean? You're your own woman empowerment executive. You know what I mean? So I'm using a lot of terminology, but basically what I'm saying is y'all run this mother, okay? Y'all run the world. So let's just give grace to each other. The last thing we need is to tear down one another. Not to mention, too, there was a point in time where, black women could not really work. That Voting Rights Act was for white women to vote, not black women. Black women had to pay a, polling tax and take a test just like black men. So to see a black woman owning primetime television, handling her ish, that should be celebrated. Good God. Reason why some of y'all ain't making it nowhere is because you hating on other people. Meanwhile, somebody's hating on you too behind the scenes. They just ain't telling you. Jesus Christ, some of y'all need to just sit down somewhere, shut up and drive in your lane and drive slow. Or get in your lane and drive slow. Anyway, y'all, let's get back to this recap, okay? If what I'm saying ain't true, don't say nothing to me in the comment section. But if you say something in the comment section to me, it must be true about you behind to some damn degree, okay? Okay. So then we get to Candy, after that huge list. Mama Joy still does not respect Todd all these years later. And so Mama Joyce was on a panel and, Andy asked, name something that you would want somebody, name a quality in a man that you would want for Candy. And she said, I would like somebody to have a stable job. And Candy was like, you know what? I can't anymore. I just need you to respect my marriage. And listen, 9 years going on 10 years. That's a long time in today's society to be married 10 years. And I feel like it is quite disrespectful to disrespect Todd in that way. I've heard that he's the assistant. This is what he signed up for. It's crazy to me how y'all say that there are no good black men out here, but yet there's a marriage for 9 going on 10 years that y'all can't celebrate, really. Meanwhile, some of y'all who complain about, who are judging Todd, meanwhile, y'all ain't got no man. If you were that perfect, you would have somebody. But we can't say that part out loud, can't we? Because y'all don't want to have that conversation because y'all don't want to be held to the carpet. Hey, don't come for me. Don't come for me. I'm just giving the truth. And so Mayetta was like, yes, you need to tell your mom that, your mom needs to respect your relationship. And not to mention, too, like, Todd is taking care of his kids, taking care of the wifey, and he's trying to figure out who he is outside of his marriage. So, and like I said, it's been 9 years. Like, at this point, Mama Joyce, you're being a Kenya Moore at this point. That's right, I said it. Mama Joyce is being a Kenya Moore, still talking about Todd 9 years later. I wish he would have a stable job. Okay, well, guess what? It's not your business on how he brings money in. If it's anybody's business, it is Candy's business, because what, Mama Joyce? They are married. Does Mama Joyce have a man, y'all? Y'all let me know in the comment section below. I don't think she does. Maybe she needs to go and get a man. You know what? Your daughter has candy-coated products. Go get a candy-coated product and just have a candy-coated night by your damn self. But please leave this marriage alone, because it's not a good look for you. Because, my God, I mean, you know what? You know what, Todd? One of my favorite lines of all time is that I think it was a scheme that Todd set up to come to you with the BS. So, you know what, Todd? I think you should create a scheme to find Mama Joyce a man to come to her with someone or with an opportunity, so that way she can have her own life. I think that's what you should do. Come up with a scheme so Mama Joyce can have a life, since she has no life, okay? All right, and listen, this is all ish giggles and games for me. I respect Mama Joyce. She is a mother, she's a grandmother, she is a sister friend, so this is not me making fun of her. For y'all come for me in the comment section, I'm just saying, 9 years later and you're still disrespecting your daughter's husband. Candy has the right to cut you out of her life. You do realize that. I think parents don't realize, like, kids have privileges that they can use in their life, just like you have privileges you can use in your life. So, Mama George, just move on. Just move on, because at this point, I feel like if any man were to come for Candy, and they didn't have a job, you would have the same energy. Because for 9 years, there's gotta be something there. It's gotta be something there. It's like, basically, Mama George, you are the Kenya Moore trying to have a storyline, even though you're not existent to the show in general. Just like Marlo is with Candy unnecessarily. But we'll get to all that. So now we're on Marlo, right? She's spending time with her nephews, you know, and I think she's going to get a bracelet from someone, and it's raining in Atlanta. And so, you know, Marlo's talking with the nephews, and so one of the nephews ratted out the other nephew of he wants $1,000 shoes. And Marlo's like, we need all straight A's for $1,000 shoes. I'm just like, Marlo, you gotta understand, school back in the day and today are two completely different schools of thought, pun intended. And the nephew said, well, I got A's and B's. And Marlo's like, well, can we get those B's up? I'm like, Marlo, one thing about being a Muntie, and I'm saying this from a kid point of view, we will do what we can with what we got while we have it, but also respect the work that's been done. So I feel like in that moment, instead of saying, hey, can we get those, you know, B's up, even though she is being a Muntie and trying to instill being better, you could have said, you know what? Listen, you are making A's and B's. If you can just maintain that and it's a 3.0 at the end, I'll compromise with you. You can still get the $1,000 sneakers. Because the thing that I've learned, kids don't want money. They don't want all these trips. They want time with you. So you just going with him just to even look at sneakers will probably mean way more than the sneakers themselves. So I think compromise. Let him get the $1,000 sneakers, okay? Let him get it. It's A's and B's, okay? Because child school is hard. You got you know, kids who are bullies. Their mama's launch pad was broken the day Rocky was on recall, and they're the launch failure that came out because they can't handle their own emotions. You got teachers who are not getting paid their worth, sadly. And, you know, if it's a public school, if it's a black public school, they're not being funded as much as a white school is. So there's a bit of segregation in terms of funding. And then not to mention, too, like, what kids are learning nowadays and what is happening with government, and the laws are being in place, like Florida, and the dumb governor who's not going to be president. I'm sorry, Ron DeSantis, you are going to fail at having a presidential campaign. And I know this is a little bit of a detour, but follow me here, y'all, because there is a point to this. And I'm relaying this back to school and the nephews and all that stuff. In Florida, the governor cut diversity, equity, inclusion, you know, initiatives for the colleges and the schools. And so basically you're telling black kids and minority indigenous people of color that their history does not matter. And that's not cool, because at the end of the day, it's just like what Wendy Williams did with why is there not any predominantly white colleges? Because the words of Omar, they are called colleges. So it's just, y'all just be careful out here. Not to mention too, how are you going to answer Ron DeSantis of you lost a $1.7 billion contract that would have brought 2,000 jobs to your state, and you're also suing the biggest employer of your state? Just asking. And if you could even make an announcement on Twitter, take off because of glitches and audio problems, how are you going to be able to handle a red camera in front of your face? Just saying. If you can't handle the process, you're not going to be able to carry the responsibility. So that's neither here nor there, y'all. But basically, schools need to be invested in, because of the words of UNICEF, a mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. So, with that being said, let's get back to this destination of Marlo Hampton, because she brings up Quentin, who was her nephew, and she lost him to gun violence. Now, the story is that 5 to 6 months earlier, he worked for Candy Burris' restaurant, Blaze. And so, when Candy, trigger warning everybody, we're about to get into some things, as the culture would say, as the LGBTQIA plus culture would say. But it's important though. So, like I said, 5 to 6 months earlier, Quentin worked for Candy, and so when Marlo, and they aired this on TV, was unreleased footage, but basically, Candy was talking about, how she got a call from, her aunt that her nephew passed away, and Marlo was trying to get sympathy from Candy and saying, "Isn't that sad?" And Candy really didn't have a response. So the text messages looked like Candy did not care. She was like, "Oh, okay." And damn, I'm sorry to hear that. Now, of course, people are saying that Marlo and Candy are not friends. And I totally get that. But in the same token, you guys spend that much time together on camera, 12 to 14 hour days, and you've been on together on TV this long. There is a bond there, just even on the sisterhood of doing something together. And shout out to House of Aaron. I try to watch the culture on YouTube before I make my thoughts, and so House of Aaron had a really good point of, Candy did seem a little cavalier, and just blasé about that. That Quentin passed away. He said, House of Aaron said this, I'm saying this too, that everybody agrees differently. However, black life matters. And when black life is lost, we do need a sense of urgency, a sense of respect, and a sense of care. Now, I'm not saying that Candy Burris does not care about people. I'm not saying that at all. But when the situation happened with Blaze, and, they were all at the Sea Winery in Atlanta, and Drew Sidora said, it was an incident. Marlo got upset because it's like, it was in the news. It was a shooting. And I get that it is a legal matter. I do. And this is where my original thought comes in. It is a legal matter, but also there's a responsibility to your community, right? Because there was a scene in the last episode where I think it was the executive producer of the show. I think that's at least what Candy said, or her speak on it. That, we're not going to talk about the elephant in the room. And, the women did not know that was a topic that could not be talked about, right? Because they were there in their timeline, in their real time, talking about it, right? And I think Drew Sidora was just saying incident because maybe she really was busy, or maybe, Drew Sidora might have, a past with gun violence, and that was said a little bit later on. We'll talk about that as well. But, sometimes when you have had trauma, or you have a connection for your own mind, you will candy coat it, pun intended, to protect your own mental health. And I think that's what Drew was trying to do. But, Mara was like, no, let's just address it on the table, which I get that. However, the way she went about it, the way that Mara went about it was uncool, because at the end of the day, that's Candy's story to tell, not your story to tell. And, like House of Aaron said, Marlo's feelings are valid. The way she went about was disrespectful. And I will say this. I think the firing for Marlo's a little unwarranted. I will agree, she does not show her life. She shows parts of her life. And if you do sign up for a reality show, well, we want to know all of your life, or as much life as they allow on TV. Because y'all, FCC, Federal Communication Commission, telling you how much you cuss, how much you can show nudity, da-da-da-da. I feel like if this show, y'all, I'm just going to be real with y'all. If this show was on HBO or Showtime, child, we will be getting a whole different type of housewife show. Do you hear me? Or even on Stars. But, this is Bravo, so there is standards and practices. So, but yeah, I feel like it's a little bit unwarranted because Marlo is a human being. She does have her nephews, which are her sons, just like she's a Muntie. So I do think it is a little bit unwarranted, but also, too, I do see where Marlo is saying, like, hey, we got to talk about our lives, but you can't. You seem like you are the queen and stuff. And here's the thing. I think sometimes people will give other people a label that they didn't even realize that they didn't ask for. Candy didn't ask to be the queen of the show. It just happened that, hey, things just worked out, or, things happen, Nene's not there anymore, Portia's not there anymore, Phaedra's not there anymore, and so, it goes to whoever is next in line of succession, or, seniority, right? And by the way, some people are saying that Nene Leakes needs to be back on the Housewives. You know what? I'm going to say this. I agree. I think it's been long overdue. I know that there was a lawsuit against Bravo for discrimination, and, she said things about Andy and Kim Zolciak being accused of racism. And listen, I think that, how can I put this, child? I think that even though all that happened, that doesn't mean Nene is not a human being. Because here's the thing, y'all. We only know what we know, right? So the words of Optimus Prime. I am Optimus Prime, and there is more than meets the eye. Of course, I cannot do Pia Koken's Optimus Prime. I would be, oh my God. If Pia Koken said, Braylon, that was very good. That was a very good Optimus Prime. I'd be like, sir, you don't have to gas me up. Seriously, you can say it's horrible. I will go get a, bumblebee mimosa or a bumblebee margarita with lemon and blackberry. Ooh, that sounds good. A bumblebee margarita with blackberry and mimosa. Bumblebee, the lemon and blackberry. Y'all follow me. Y'all follow me. But basically, y'all. Yeah, there's just more than meets the eye. So I think enough time has passed, and honestly, I think if Nene Leakes came back, the ratings would go through the roof. I think people would watch. So I think Nene should come back. It's been enough time that passed. Phaedra's back on Bravo through Married to Medicine, and they say that this is, the streets are talking that this is one of the biggest seasons yet. And yeah, so, and not to mention, of course, Marlo asked about the life coach and do the nephews like the life coach. And, the nephews are saying, yeah, well, I think she's cool. And, the other nephew said, at least you're trying. So the nephews are seeing the progress. And, since we're speaking about reality, I want to speak on Carlos King here for a minute, because can y'all tell me why he's covering Real Housewives of Atlanta more than Love and Marriage Huntsville? He was saying that, he sees the streets talking, and that, people get offended because he is telling the truth. Carlos, your truth is your truth, but it's not the whole truth. And bruh, if we can review your show for just a minute within the show, because Martell is a part of Housewives now. I did watch the interview with Martell and Carlos. Really wasn't too much to it, honestly. But I did get the sense from Martell that, he is saying that he's a good dad and this and that, and, that he gets tired of the storylines being pitted against him. And, here's the thing. Even though you don't care to be on TV, you still do TV. And right now, Carlos, on your show, since you're saying that you miss personal storylines, sir, there is a storyline of a castmate putting a S-tape out of their ex, sir. There is another lawsuit to Canvas Beauty from Jump 450 Media over advertising for $89,000 with $599 for legal fees. That's another storyline on top of the $1.7 million, sir. Then the Scotts are being sued for, property that is not even theirs, or they mismanage, the property line, or whatever the case. The Scotts are getting sued. Sir. Not to mention, there's a report that Tisha may be cheating in her marriage. Sir, there are storylines on your show that you're not covering. Okay? And I said this on T-Talk with your girl, but I'm going to say it here. Respectfully, what's happening to the Oprah Winfrey Network is quite sad. I mean, I remember the countdown to OWN, right? I so remember the countdown to OWN. With the orange, the orange, purple, and green balloons. And Oprah saying, what if I could take every moment of this thing called life, every song I ever danced to, and every thought of what could be possible, and share that with you? Well, here we are. This is our day. This is our chance to own it. The new Oprah Winfrey Network launching today. Woo, this is gonna be good. Go out and own it. Carlos is not of the culture. He's not of black media. He is not of what it is, of the soul of black culture. He's not, because I remember that vividly. I stayed up for the launch of the Oprah Winfrey Network, and how Oprah was in that white outfit. She was in this loft with hand-painted letters of own, and she had Super Soul Sunday, she had Life Class and Master Class and Kidnapped by the Kids and Oprah's All Stars and Your Own Show, the search for the next own, the search for the next TV star. Like, she had shows that were reflective of her network, and this is not it. This is not it. And OWN's audience, I feel like, honestly, is in the 30 to 54 demographic. And honestly, Carlos would not have gotten an interview on the Oprah Winfrey Show. He just wouldn't, because at that time, being on Oprah, if I told people I was going on the Oprah Winfrey Show, Braylon, you're going on the Oprah Winfrey Show? Oh my God, that's amazing! Oh my God, can you ask her this? Can you get her hungry? It was a privilege. It was a responsibility. It was an honor. And I just feel that Love and Marriage Huntsville is dragging the Oprah Winfrey Network down. I really, really do. Like, I don't know how you sit here with those storylines, and plus knowing that many more to come, obviously, because the real show is on the YouTube streets. Black Titanic and Here for Hot Tea, Tea Talk with your girl. Myself included. When Tay Talk, Drop the Mic, Brown Skin Girl, Queen Sheba, What's Happening, House of Aaron, of course, Kimpire, DJ Richie Sky, Color Me Pink, Chronicles of the Gray Haired Diva, Sherelle's World, Perry. There's so many of them out there that they are keeping their ears to the streets, and you're the creator, executive producer of the show. We're doing your job for you. That's not how that works. And then you say, where is Nightcap on OWN? Stay tuned. Okay, well, Carlos, either Nightcap exists or it doesn't exist, bro. Because honestly, tell you the truth, your Love and Marriage Huntsville show gets more play than your Nightcap show ever did, which was nothing. And I'm not saying this to attack you. I'm not saying this to drag you. I'm not saying this to put you in your place. But bruh, you cannot ask other platforms to be responsible and you're not being responsible. I'm sorry. Like, it is what it is, man. And I will say I am proud of you for the fact that you stepped out on your own, you believed in yourself, and you carried that faith to create your own production company. Anybody who goes about their dream, I will never downgrade. I will never play in their face. I will never try to cut the mental umbilical cord of what it took to birth that dream. Because we're all pregnant with a dream. I don't want any other women to come for me. Trust me, I'm not a woman. I am a full-grown man, okay? And I'm not trying to use pregnancy in a way that will offend the women of my audience or women out there, because there's postpartum depression. There are women who had to have the A word. And years later on down the line, they've regretted it because that could have been an amazing life that they could have had with that child. You know what I mean? So I respect that. I value your life, and I value, and I also want to appreciate the strength, the vulnerability, and the struggle I will never understand of what it is to be a mom. And just know that even though your baby went back home, it went back home to heaven. I honestly believe that's where babies go when they're no longer here. And I went through a situation where I was at a funeral, and I was able to give a speech about how babies are joy. Babies are the thing that bring you back to center, and no matter what happens, they come from the same place. So if you had to have an A, or you had to drop off your baby to somebody else, or auntie or uncle or grandma or grandpa, and they raised them for you, just know that you are still loved, you are still cared for, and that you still have a life to live. Let me say all that for the pregnancy, metaphor. So back to Carlos. I'm proud of you. I think that you have done quite a lot. And I think that, you are out here, but you can do so much more. When they say you know better, you do better. Don't do better, be careful. But bigger than being careful, take responsibility for what you're doing. So with that being said, everybody, we get to the city winery part, right? And so Courtney and Candy is at again. And, Courtney was talking about this venue that she was at, and the venue, and at the venue, she said the vibe and the people there were ghetto. And Courtney was like, my family is ghetto. I don't mind, saying that. And Candy was like, well, guess what? You are the ghetto. You are the ghetto, and I bring everybody out. I'm like, okay, Candy. She's a princess. You're a queen. Queens do what they need to do for a purpose. Princes and princesses do what they want to do for attention. Kings and queens do what they need to do for a purpose. Courtney is not helping your bag. Why are you caring? Child, please move on. Then, of course, I told y'all about Monietta and Marla had an issue in Jamaica about talking about Candy and, her situation, whatever. But here's the thing, all right? 30 minutes after production wrapped, it was a thing with Marlo and Drew. And they were talking about, how the situation with the Blaze shooting happened. And so there was a scene of, Marlo just say, my blood nephew is dead. Blood nephew mean immediate, family nephew is dead. And so Marlo was just going off on Drew and be like, my nephew is dead. My nephew is dead. And Drew was like, what? I think, even though some people don't like Drew Sidora of the show, I think we can all agree in that moment. Babe, sweetie, honey, peaches, sugar. What? You can just talk to me. But like I said before, I think that shooting at Blaze triggered her memory of her nephew, which her nephew did work for Candy 5 to 6 months earlier. And so tonight, I think at 9 o'clock, 9/8 Central on YouTube, on Candy's Speak On It, or as I like to say, speak on it, da da. Speak on it, da da. Speak on it, on it, on it, on it, I'ma speak on it, I'm on to speak on it. I know that she's not gonna ever use that song. And I swear, if she used that song, it's like a prank. Y'all, I will come on YouTube and talk about it, okay? So anyway, so that's basically what happened with that. And, Marlo did go onto her Instagram Live and talked about it. I didn't see the Instagram Live. Basically, she was just saying there was more to that moment than meets the eye. To use Optimus Prime's words again, I am Optimus Prime, and there is more than meets the eye. So, yeah. So anyway, in the preview, child, Cherie said that Cherie is at the doctor's office. And so the OGBYN, or the doctor, I don't know if it's either one, but it looked like an ultrasound to me. And the OGBYN said, you've been trying? And Cherie's like, trying for what? I'm like, girl, what you mean trying for what? Being pregnant, sweetie, expecting, bringing life into the world. And then, Sonya says, to her mom and her sister that Ross is ready for it just to be them. And the sister's like, okay, good for y'all. And walks out the room, and Sonya's like, that was not cool. So I can already tell that's going to be a moment there. Then, Kenya invites the women to the Magic City Classic, but she's having hesitations of should she bring them heifers down there, right? So, Kenya says we're going to go to a dance class and then we're going to go to the Magic City Classic. Monyetta wore an outfit for a charity event, and the producer said this is a ish event and they don't want you there anymore. I don't know if the producer said this is a ishy, event or show, and they don't want you there anymore, or whatever. But basically, they get kicked out. I thought Monyetta's outfit wasn't that bad. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't okay. You know what? I'm gonna have to call Kenya Moore on this one. Kenya Moore came to a charity event, okay, in an outfit that was too revealing, okay. And, she had these booty pads and saying, I got a donkey booty out loud at charity function. So, Kenya, I'm going to need you to shut your damn mouth if you know what's good for you, because the history is long with you, hunty. Very long, okay? Like I said before, Kenya Moore will never be a Jill Scott in the past, present, or afterlife, but that does not mean she's not a human being. So, by the way, shout out to House Aaron again. I was debating on saying this or not, but I feel like I'm going to have to because y'all will see it because it was a preview. So I'm only talking about public information, okay? I stick to the prompt. I move within the prompt. If I move outside the prompt, it always relates back to my perspective of being black within the culture, or information that I know from family, friends, or information that I have researched, okay? So with that being said, apparently they talk about eating the groceries. And so the question was asked all the way around, and then they get to Kenya and ask, Kenya, have you ever ate the groceries? And so Kenya puts her hand on her face, and then House of Aaron says, oh my gosh, she ate Mark's salad, a garden salad, dried veggies, and salad dressing. I'm like, Aaron, really, House of Aaron, really, man? So, I'm sorry. So then Marlo says, summer is over, winter is coming. And so Marlo, I don't know why, but like Marlo, for some odd reason, she is doing things just to exist when she already has a peach. But anyway, she kicks the door and be like, summer, summer. And Kenya respectfully says, what the F is wrong with you? My child is here. What is wrong with you? We're trying to sleep. I'm paraphrasing it, but basically that was the last scene. So y'all, that is season 15, episode 3 recap of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Y'all, this show, it's weird because they're saying like the ratings are down, but like, listen, y'all, at the end of the day, ratings go up and down. It's about the social capital of the show. The social capital of the show has been around for 10 years and a decade and 5 years. And I promise you this, if Bravo did try to get rid of Atlanta, there would be the biggest Bravo blackout ever. Okay, so as you guys know, I try to always end it with the daily motivational thought. So like I said before, I found this on 107.5 Hallelujah FM in Little Rock, Arkansas. Of course, the station's no longer around anymore, but they will always do this great day. They would do this the daily motivator. So they appear Monday through Saturday. So this is it. The motivational thought for today, Saturday, May 27th, 2023. I know today is Sunday, but this appeared on Saturday. Saturday, May 27th, 2023, motivating yourself. You have 5 hours to do 2 hours worth of work. What are your options? You could spend 3.5 hours procrastinating and worrying about how difficult the work will be. That will force you to spend the last 90 minutes rushing and making compromises to produce a substandard result. You could fill the entire 5 hours working at a leisurely pace, taking breaks, giving into distractions, working a little more. That will get the job done and waste much of your precious time. Or you can start right away, focus intently on the work, and persist until you've achieved an excellent result. In that case, you'll have 3 hours for something else, free of worry, free of anxiety, with no deadline hanging over you. It can be difficult to motivate yourself to get started early. Child, have we not all been there before? And to push all the way through. So instead of thinking just about getting started, think of the entire experience and how you will feel at the end. The time is yours. The choice is yours. There's work to be done. What approach will you decide to take? Ralph Morrison. So if you love that thought, please go to greatday.great.com. That's greatgreat.com. Very quickly, what I learned from that is that at the end of the day, how you think is how you move, and how you move is going to determine what blessings you will receive. You always heard gratitude will determine your altitude. Well, your altitude will determine the range of blessings that will be in your life. I'll say it again. Gratitude will determine how high you go in life. How high you go in life, and how you treat people as you go on that high will determine the range of blessings. Always remember, the level that you're at will determine on how hard you've worked and how much you treat people. Just say you can do what you want to do, and you probably have, but how is that working for you? You probably have listened to grown people that haven't done nothing with their life and they are messed up. And this is why I have to say, this is a little tip to all the young brothers trying to talk to these full, thick aunties out here. Because look, nephew gang, stay ready for the thick single aunties out here. Single auntie, single, okay? Unless they're in an open marriage or a menage a trois. But then again, please, like, just do your background checks and do your soul check for yourself. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. The point that I am making is, if a grown person can screw you over and do you wrong, and a young person cannot be responsible because they're just getting started, where does that leave you? It's about the connection, the energy, and the exchange that you have with people. So, with that being said, that is it for me, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed this recap. Thank you so much. Know what you do and do what you know. Never say you weren't born special, because you are always born blessed. And trust, you may not be where you want to be. By the end of it, you'll be where you need to be. Do what you've been chosen to do. Wise one thing to call yourself, is another thing to be chosen. I've spent time with you. You have spent time with me. We have spent time together. Hopefully, we have risen together to have a good time, good laughs, good joy. And make sure whatever you do in life, make sure the replay is not just where for you to watch it, not just where for you to listen to it, but for you to want to experience it again. I love you. I value you. I embrace you all. See you real soon. Have a great Memorial Day on Monday. And shout out to all of our active and former and still active for the culture of the Army, Marines, Navy, Air Force, and just the soldiers that are just doing good work. You know, I think we need to be able to memorialize the good things of life, not just the horrible things. Also, by the way, too, let me know in the comment section what videos y'all want me to do. Do y'all want me to do hot topics? Now, realize, y'all, I'm not going to jump on every hot topic, okay? But let me know how long y'all want me to talk about hot topics. Should it be 5 to 7 minutes, maybe 10, 15 max? I'm not going to try to go over 20, because that's what this recap is for. It's for me to do a long video. But anyway, thank you all so much. Both videos, I think, are at 100 views. I think I'm at 72 subscribers. So we're getting close to our first 100. So I love you. I value you. I embrace you all. See you real soon. Goodbye, everybody. Bye. Bye. Goodbye, everybody.
I gotta tell you something I could do. I could be running around chasing you, but I won't. 'Cause I got better things to do. Rather spend my precious time chasing somebody who loves me too. If I got $1 for every time you slam the door, I would be the richest girl alive. If you hadn't run away every time I asked you stay, you would sleep right next to me tonight. No, you didn't want me. All you wanted was a game to play, and you couldn't handle that I had my ways around an enemy I held too close. Now I know, 'cause you did everything to prove me wrong. You were not the guy I thought. Now I'm beating you at your own. Yeah. If I got $1 for every time you slam the door, I would be the richest girl alive. But you didn't want me, all you wanted was a game to play, and you couldn't handle that I had my ways. Around your mind tricks and your side chicks, I'm a winner, babe. But you didn't win this, it's a part of the game. Yeah, I beat you at your game, and if you were me, you would do the same. Man, I really love to play, and now that I won, then it's safe to say you didn't want me, all you wanted was a game to play, and you couldn't handle that I had my ways. Around your mind tricks and your side chicks, I'm a winner, babe. But you didn't